Ranking the posters. Ranking the posters. Welcome to the Rank the Poster episode for the Ocean series by the Everything Sequel podcast. I'm Tom Stewart of Lonesome Whistle Productions. All right, that takes care of me. Now, what about you? There's Michael Shantz of the How Dare You Awards right there. How are you doing there, Mike?
Just fine, thank you.
Yeah, you ready to look at some quality poster art?
Am I ever? I got my Fabergé egg. I'm ready to go.
That's right, and I am an Affleck and a Khan. That lesser known Richard Gere classic, an Affleck and a Khan. Um, yeah. So here we are once again. We're in our off week, and we choose to spend our week off
Working for you.
working for you exactly and ranking the poster art of the series that we've just done. Any reflections on the series before we dive into posters?
Yeah, I guess I'm just sad for you.
Sad for me.
Your,
You're sad that I'm happy to be done with these films.
your lack, your lack of enjoyment at the movie theaters, or at home.
Yeah. I mean it is kind of it's alarming how unwilling I am to have fun. It's alarming how much distance I put between myself and a fun
And fun.
property like this. But I don't like bad filmmaking or mediocre filmmaking, and there's a lot of that in this series.
Give me Benicio del Toro whipping a horse.
You're not too far off. There's not enough suffering in these movies for me.
Yeah.
You're right on the Passion of the Christ kind of precipice of suffering is what I want. Right in the pocket. Not not gay sadomasochistic porn, but also, not just people getting away with murder all the time,
All right.
both narratively and in world. Yeah, I mean, you'll have to listen to our Patreon episodes to find out what we thought of the original and the reboot, and there might be a couple of surprises there
Yeah.
um, for both of us.
Hmm.
But in terms of the sequels, it's yeah,
It was a slog for you.
I think it's a problematic set of films that I think you have to get on board very early on or they lose you very quickly.
Hmm.
Ocean's 12 is sort of the worst way to start. If I could have built up from Ocean's 8 to Ocean's 12, I think I might have enjoyed it more, but to be hit when that's your first port of call, that's rough. That's
For
some
you.
stormy seas in that port, I can
For
tell you.
you, sir.
For you. But you're burying the lead here, which is your Road to Damascus style conversion
Yeah.
over Ocean's 12, a movie
I I
previously
once thought
loathed.
I once thought as you did. Uh,
So yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll at some point we'll do a. You'll watch the movie again at some point, and
we'll do
we'll
a
do a
yeah,
check
yeah,
in
yeah. We'll do it. We'll check back in.
when the next Ocean's movie comes out.
After
Which
about every 5 series, just say, you watched Ocean's 12 again yet?
yeah, and I'm still intrigued. Not to the point where I did any research, but I'm still intrigued about your revelation that
Clooney's
they might
talk.
they might
Yeah.
be getting together for another Ocean's movie. I wonder
I
whether
guess the thing that surprised me the most about that was that Clooney said they have a script, like the script is done.
I'd never believe that though.
Yeah.
And everyone says they have a script. The resultant movie that they make is always terrible. The script is always the worst thing about it, which
Hmm.
says to me that they're either lying about having the script or that the script is good. Either way, it's a lie. Bill and
So
Ted Face the Music.
so pessimistic.
Bill and Ted's Face the Music. I'm sure they said that about Dial of Destiny and Crystal Skull.
Sure.
So it's industry talk for we're probably
fucked.
gonna do this. We feel like we have to do this.
But we're fucked.
I mean, they definitely, as we talked about, they didn't have a script for Ocean's 12, clearly.
Well, that's your assumption.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yet to be disproved, by the way. What? Anyone? Nope. There we go.
No, the burden is on you to prove, sir.
No one on this side of the closet is telling me otherwise. Just on this side. I realized that because of the zoom reversal, I did the wrong thumbs there, but there we go.
No problem.
Did you remember during COVID, the performer Bill Irwin tried to do a physical comedy piece on Zoom?
No.
And it involved, sort of like hands going into one side of the frame and then coming out of the other.
Coming out, yeah.
And it was a disaster, apparently, because their internet failed. So it just underlined the pointlessness of
Zoom comedy.
Yeah, of Zoom comedy, Zoom performance in general,
And yet here we are.
Well, I mean, this is podcasting where Zoom has always been an acceptable form of visual media.
That's true.
So, we're not reinventing the wheel here.
No.
We're just visually augmenting the wheel with some pretty lights. Also, I've just noticed our choice of t-shirts.
Yeah.
Speaks to a couple old men yelling at clouds. Yep. You've got Blockbuster, I've got The Simpsons. So our t-shirts are dated by about 30 odd years.
Make it a Blockbuster night, I say.
Yeah, Body by Duff. I tried to. I also put on my Flamingo shirt.
I can see that.
But the Flamingo isn't one of the casinos they rob in Ocean's 11, is it?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
No, I don't.
Is there a hotel called the Flamingo?
Now you stumped me.
Homework.
Why does it sound so right? And yet I'm not sure that
I naturally assume that
I'm thinking it's wrong.
There's a hotel called the Flamingo. Or maybe I'm thinking of the Tropicana.
That's what I think. I'm thinking of the Tropicana,
which might have flamingos in the logo. No, yes. Well, you can still check. I might still be right, Mike. I mean, just because we've come with an alternative explanation doesn't mean that there wasn't a kernel of truth.
The Flamingo, Las Vegas.
Woo! Doesn't exist anymore, though.
No, I think that's a Now casino.
Oh, okay. Nowtro, right. Retro.
Yeah, it's a Nowtro.
It's a Nowtro casino, all right.
3,500 rooms.
Look at who's got their finger on the pulse of youth culture.
I'm not sure the youth are staying at the Flamingo.
Yeah, wherever I would go in Vegas, there will be no youth. I'll even find the parts of the hotel where there are young people to hide from young people.
Right. All right. Yeah.
The bar with video blackjack is usually a good place. Don't get many people there. There we go. The Flamingo.
Trying to get an exact address. Yeah, it's right. Let's see, where is it near? It's near, everything near it is called Flamingo.
Oh, the Flamingo District.
Oh, I shit you not. Close to it, Monorail Center.
Oh, it sounds like a classy casino. You want to be right next to that monorail.
I also see the Uno Salon.
I don't think
do they cut your hair while you play Uno?
I don't think Flamingo's like one of the Vegas oligopoly of hotels. I must have
Yeah.
been there though. If I pulled it, I must have seen it at the very least.
Yeah, I guess. Good times. All right.
Mm. But that's not what we're here to talk about. Well,
No, it's
adjacently.
it's off the strip. Let's just say that.
Thanks. Thank you. Thank you for protecting my feelings. I appreciate it. You're a good friend. It's not in Vegas at all, is it? It's not
It's
even in
in
Re.
Vegas.
It's not even in Reno.
Just like one major thoroughfare over from the strip.
It's literally on the wrong side of the tracks.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay. Well,
mercy.
that's the casino I choose to advertise here today.
Yeah.
Um great. Well, anything else before we start?
I guess my question for you,
Hmm.
I mean, do you have an initial thought about these posters we're about to look at?
Well, I've got a little
Because,
surprise. I've got a little surprise for you
oh, okay.
because
They
we
have to include lots of people.
yeah,
And I'll
well
just
they
apologize in advance because it's hot in the closet today. So,
well they do and they don't. Um I went I tried to do I tried to keep my choice because there's a lot of posters to choose from actually
yeah,
for
I
this
know.
series, as I'm sure you found when you were doing your Photoshop images for us. Yes, those
I
are
tried to stick
photoshopped.
to the
Those
ones I
aren't just our
remembered.
faces.
Yeah. I tried to stick to the ones I remembered when the movies came out.
But if you kind of if you're going for original posters, not too many people in there. I mean, we'll get there in a minute. But the other surprise is because we would essentially be picking between three posters. So to
Mhm.
spruce it up a little bit, since we have covered all the Ocean's movies in one
That's what I
form or
was going to
another,
ask you. I was very
huh?
curious.
So we have covered the original and the reboot on our Patreon. So we're going to be ranking the entire Ocean series.
All right.
I pulled all the posters.
I like where your head's at, sir.
Yeah, so we can take for the first time ever we can take a real overview of the series of the franchise, the canon,
Correct.
not the Cannonball Run, the canon.
Sure.
Um, so yeah, that's we're up. But interestingly, there seem to be posters with people, but they're not necessarily the original posters or
Hmm.
there's some more abstract versions of the poster that I kind of tried to keep it consistent. So it was either going to be all the people or none of the people. But there is one where there's only people available. There's no non-people option. So
Okay.
there are consistency issues, but I tried to keep it as um consistent as possible. So let's take a look at these posters.
Mhm.
So here we are. This
That's the one I remember seeing.
for yeah, the original 1960 Ocean's 11. I mean, this is people centric. Um,
Hmm.
you got Sinatra, you got Martin, you got Davis Jr., Lawford, and Angie Dickinson, who's more prominent in the poster than she is in
Than
the
she is in
movie.
the movie, right?
I see a lot. There's a lot going on here. I mean, you've got uh five headshots.
Hmm.
You've got the credits in the middle. You got the billing in the middle. Then you've got a kind of a blurb. It's not.
Hmm.
I wouldn't call it a tagline. It's a blurb. And then below that, an entirely separate kind of
Graphic art.
graphic art, and then another set of
Ooh.
credits for the movie. So this is uh, this is a busy poster that, in the classic tradition of mid-century graphic design, does not look busy at all somehow. But if
Yeah,
you
right.
analyze what's actually in there, there's a massive amount of text and image here.
There's a massive amount going on, but it also looks squared and put away
It
because
really,
each because
yeah,
each section is squared and put away.
that is it. And I think that's where the graphic design comes in.
Yeah.
Those clean corners and squares
Hmm.
really make a huge difference. They make everything look tidy, even when it's bloated.
I'm curious about the text that says that big one instead
Yeah,
of the big one. Like, like the
yeah.
big heist. Like, it makes it sound like they're talking about a penis.
Well, Dean Martin looks like he knows what you're talking about.
It
Uh,
does.
it's interesting because I feel like they haven't decided on a tagline per se. They're just trying out a
Mhm.
number of them and seeing which one sticks.
Yeah.
Because there's three taglines here. That big one. Nobody else would have dared it because no one else would have the nerve.
Yeah.
Just Danny Ocean and his 11 pals, the crazy night they blew all the lights in Las Vegas. That's also the plot of the movie,
Right.
by the
Right.
way.
It's funny because that second line doesn't seem necessary, does it?
No, no, that's a summary. That's a synopsis.
Yeah.
Um, so that's a, I mean, fascinating and an era of like an era of cinema we haven't encountered yet when we've been
Hmm.
ranking posters. So it's interesting for that. I don't know what the purpose of the two exclamation marks in between Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin are, but
Yeah.
again, kind of makes sense within the context of the poster somehow.
Yeah. They just needed, they didn't want empty space, but Dean Martin's name was too short.
It's they don't it that could be it. That could be it. And what's great about it is it knows exactly how much empty space you can have on a poster
Hmm.
before it
Yeah.
gets too much. Like they've nailed it. Any more empty space than this, and you'd
It would
feel like
look odd.
something was it would look odd. And yeah, if you actually look, there's lots of empty space here
Hmm.
and there.
Right.
But it doesn't look like negative space. It looks like it's part of the overall design. Well, anyway, my feelings about mid-century, media and culture. I'm kind of
Yeah.
already in the bag.
This is at the top of Tom's list, let's just say.
Yeah, um, it's the one to beat
For now.
for now. Uh,
So now these are what I consider to be the video posters.
but I was drawn to them because of the. I thought the one with people with the video posters because they've got the release date for the movie.
That's interesting.
So I think they're the T. I think they're like, and everywhere I looked, I was like, these are the original
Because
posters.
I just sent you, I finished the not both Ocean's 11s, but 2001, and I sent that to you.
Ah,
And it's the people poster. I sent
yeah,
that as a surprise for the middle of this, but then I realized your phone might be turned off. But
yeah, that's okay.
uh
No,
but that's the poster I remember coming out, is the poster with the people on it and not this. This is
okay,
but
yeah,
but unlike most, what I don't know, because this might be just an alternate poster, so they might have had both.
yeah.
But whether it's an alternate or a video poster, because if you look, look at 12 and 13 as well, like
Mm.
they're better posters than most alternate or video posters.
Well, this is, I mean, the use of color and
Hmm.
the just having the legs and the feet, um, and letting the names do the work rather
Well, and
than the
not just
images, the
that, we were just
people.
talking about negative space,
Yeah.
and you would, you know, really this poster has tons of negative space, except it will never feel like that because you have the slanted 11.
Yeah, and I like the fact that part of the image is missing as well. Like
Yeah, me too.
the 11's not complete. You don't see anything above the
Same with the
waist.
shadows,
Yeah, yeah.
because I like that the 11 goes in the same direction as the casted shadows.
Mm. And it's got a good sense of where to put red, where to put black, where to put white.
Yeah.
Um, it's very classy. It's a classy poster.
Yeah, it is. And
I'd want to see this movie.
the there's a line in the movie in which Danny Ocean's trying to recruit Linus, and he says to him, "You're either in or you're out."
Yeah.
And I like asking the audience, "Are you in or you're or out?"
Yeah. It's also got in, you can barely see it, but it says starring in alphabetical order.
Hmm.
So I mean, we talked before about how Clooney has that sewn up. Like he's the star of the movie in alphabetical order and also in order of appearance for this movie. He's top of the line. So it's kind of interesting that that makes it onto the poster as well,
Hmm.
because it doesn't really matter that it's alphabetical order. I guess it would be Clooney if it wasn't alphabetical order. It would be Clooney, Pitt, Damon. Oh, that'd be Clooney, Roberts. I don't know. That's interesting. I hadn't thought
No,
about
it would
that.
be Clooney, then Pitt,
Clooney, Pitt, Roberts, Damon.
Damon. It'll
I don't
probably
think
be
Andy
Clooney,
Garcia would
Pitt.
even make it on the poster.
Yeah, I know. I mean, in terms of stardom, yeah, Roberts, but because her role is smaller, I'd probably say Clooney, Pitt, Damon, Roberts, Garcia.
Hmm.
But what I
And
also like, the it evokes other movies. It evokes Reservoir Dogs.
yeah, the poster for Reservoir Dogs is somewhat based on the poster for the original, not the poster of original Ocean's 11, but the final shot
Hmm.
influenced the poster of Reservoir Dogs. So we're getting like two binary influences here. We've got, you know, post Tarantino cinema and being a reboot of the original Ocean's 11. So
Yeah.
they close the loop on that. And the little, the kind of nicknames for the crew, the idea man, the rookie, the target,
Right.
the pro, the wild card.
Yeah.
I mean, none of those are even remotely correct. But
The rookie,
the rookie,
the
yeah, well,
target.
he's only, but he's not a rookie. That isn't. Well, you'll have to listen to our Patreon to find out.
Yeah.
But
He's the
Linus,
rookie to the big con.
yeah, yes, that certainly makes sense.
Yeah.
But it's just it's like it's a way of branding it, um, as if they all have those distinct personas, which they don't really have in the movie at all.
Hmm.
So a little bit of fabrication.
All right.
So on the same theme, again, tried to keep it consistent.
Hmm.
More feet,
Yeah.
more red, black, white. This is, I mean, this is a an adaptation of the last poster, really.
Yeah.
It's way classier than the movie is, and way more organized already. Um,
I'm not sure the poster is as organized as you think it is.
no,
I mean, you're probably right, but
it's a lot of
I mean,
names.
yeah, that's the big thing to me is that it's an awful lot of names. And also 12 is the new 11. That's pretty stupid.
Yeah, I agree, but that's kind of the tone of the idea of the movie as well.
All right, settle down.
I like the
I like
something.
the I like the motion
Yeah,
because it
agreed.
looks like they're on the run.
I think everything is in focus as well, nicely. Like
Yeah.
everything look like the black is not too black. Don't cut that and loop it and turn it into a viral video. The white isn't too glaring.
Hmm.
The red is a nice background without taking anything away from the other colors. So I think it's quite refined. Um, but it's interesting in terms of what are we selling the movie on? Because if Andy Garcia shouldn't have made it onto the last poster, then Bernie Mac
Right.
shouldn't have made it onto this one. But um, the idea of the ensemble, I guess, is what they're trying to sell it on, or like
Yeah,
people who would appeal to different markets.
maybe.
I don't know, but still, Julia Roberts
And
gets the
credit
yeah, and Julia Roberts as as Tess
as the Beaver.
as the Beaver. Steady on now. Um, and this is the one you used for our
This is the one
images.
I remember.
Um, and yet it's color wise, it's more in common with the previous couple of posters
Hmm.
in terms of background, but um, yeah, it's this is um, I don't know, like a is this a comedy? That's what this poster says to me.
Well, I remember because I asked you for a picture
Yeah,
to create this poster. And when I got your pictures, my first thought was, why does Tom look like that? And then I looked closer at the poster and I thought, oh no, he's doing Brad Pitt.
is he constipated or is he
Yeah,
trying to do
like
Brad
what's
Pitt? Yeah,
going on?
yeah. It's I think part of it is it's supposed to be the eye in the sky.
Well, yeah, obviously it's kind of security
Yeah,
cam,
okay, that's
you
what I
know,
got.
joke or
Hmm.
footage. But now, it's funny because before we were kind of leaning towards name recognition, and now they're
Yes.
sort of a household name as a team
Hmm.
by the
Hmm.
time you get to 13. And so we're going to just put all their pictures on the poster.
Yeah.
Uh, and there's a clockwork kind of, a clock face kind of thing going
Yeah.
on here that I kind of like. And then what are the odds of getting even 13-1? That's a way better line than the 12 poster.
It is. Yeah. But it's an interesting that I mean Julia Roberts isn't in the movie. Ellen Barkin is, but she's not on the
Right.
poster. She's so
Neither's Pacino though, and she's part of the Pacino
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I hadn't noticed
gang.
that.
So,
No, and Al Pacino, so I bet Julia Roberts feels good about her role in the movie being taken by
but
Al
it's funny
Pacino.
because it's called Ocean's 13, and even when you include Andy Garcia on the team, there's still only 12 bodies there. So they're missing Eddie Izzard.
So I was wondering about this. Like, is it that clear cut that that's the Ocean's 13?
I think it's what it's supposed to be. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I always just thought that that they because they were just making progressive sequels that they were just like, okay, one more each time.
I think that's kind of part of it too, because it's, you know, there's smoke and mirrors involved,
Hmm.
It's a little nebulous because you could also do Super Dave. He's part of the team. Cherry
Yeah.
Jones in the last one, part of the, you know what I mean? So,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
uh, it's like you could omit Andy Garcia just because he gave them money. He was still working against them. He's not really part of the team.
Yeah.
And then you put in Super Dave, but you're not going to put Super Dave on the poster, are you?
No. Well, I mean, you should, but no, you won't.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't really know what to make of this one.
But
And
they're into
also,
red.
they're into the red. Also, they're kind of quite shambolically arranged around the table.
Mm-hmm.
And given that it's not a photograph, they've taken them from different shots.
Right.
They could fill in this space on the left if they wanted to.
Right.
I don't think,
They
unless
could
it
have
is,
they could have
unless it
moved
is a
Elliot
photograph.
Gould down the table a bit.
Yeah, but you try telling Elliot Gould to move down the table a bit. See
No,
what
you already
happens.
have the photo, is what I'm saying. You just,
Oh, that's true.
you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
that
Well,
was
that's
their choice.
You think that's right, isn't it? That it can't be a one photograph. It's got to be.
Yeah, I don't think so, but I find it hard to believe that they got all these people in a room and around a table and snapped a few shots of them looking up, but you never know.
Yeah, getting all these people together for a photo shoot would be a living nightmare
Yeah, it's be like
on
the end of
every level.
uh, be like the end of the Avengers, which
Oh,
apparently which apparently was an actual nightmare.
which Avengers are you talking about? Presumably not the Ray Fiennes, Uma Thurman Avengers.
No, the end game when
Oh,
Stark dies. Spoiler alert! And everybody's at the funeral.
I haven't
They
seen
didn't
it.
film that separately. Everybody was there on that day, but like trailers and cars and media trying to get pictures and like apparently it was a real shit show.
Yeah, you just ruined Avengers Endgame for me. I haven't seen it. But
That's your
luckily,
fault. That's
luckily,
your
I,
fault.
luckily, I've seen pretty much all the Marvel movies since. So
You're caught up.
guess yeah, that puts it. In fact, it puts it all in perspective for me.
Okay.
I was wondering why I hadn't seen Tony Stark for a while.
Well, you're welcome.
It's never really been my bag, Marvel movies, and now I watch them because I have a child
Yeah.
who likes them.
Such disdain.
Why? No, I mean, well, but
You
I
said
feel,
now I watch them because I have a child.
but I hear people talking to them, and it seemingly I miss this golden age of Marvel movies. And now every time I go and see one, it's
They're
absolute
garbage.
garbage.
Yes.
So for me, from my perspective, it's like,
Why do people like this?
yeah, has everyone just been brainwashed, or is this a mass hallucination, or were these movies ever good? Actually, no. I mean, I saw the original. I think Iron Man and Iron Man 2, and then
Okay.
I stopped. And then I stopped, and um,
Did you
didn't.
like the original Iron Man? Well, maybe we should shut up.
Yeah, should we should shut off about that. Yeah, I'm pro Favreau. I'll give you that
Yeah.
much.
All right.
But I've admitted to that before. I'm Fav Pro.
All
So
right,
anyway,
let's see 8.
show me 8. Uh,
Red.
red in profile. This was the poster you used
Mm-hmm.
um for our Photoshop image, and notably you Photoshop me onto that's Kate Blanchett, isn't it? The second one,
Yeah.
the blonde one, and I ended up looking like late Phil Spector as a result.
Oh, mercy.
Wig and all.
Oh, it's
Uh,
good stuff.
yeah, so this is I'm quite drawn to this one too.
I think it's a good poster. Yeah.
I like the concept of um the profile and the
I do
kind of
too.
the red blinds.
Well,
Uh
whatever it is, it evokes the feeling of con artists being obscured,
yeah.
and I like that.
Because who's right at the end? Is that Aquafina in the smallest blind
I
in the
think
fold of
so.
the yeah, it's gotta be, right? There's no
Yeah.
one else it could be. Um and I guess part of this is this a potential problem with this is it's a bit of a spoiler, right? Because we don't think Anne Hathaway's part of the team, or we shouldn't think that she's part of the team until that's revealed in the film.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of giving up the ghost a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, if you bother to pay attention, I
The
don't know how many
Agost
people are, but
the Agosti even. Um
Fernando.
but yeah, I guess actually I suppose that you you have plausible deniability because you could sort of say, well, Andy Garcia isn't one of the team. Well, I guess he
Mm-hmm.
is, and so that's also a spoiler. That's the problem when you start putting people in posters. It gets very complicated very quickly.
Certainly in your con movies.
Yeah, the perfect poster is sans people for me. And I like the distribution of the text. This is
Yeah.
so nerdy, so like couple
No,
of
but
guys
it's
talking
right
about
up
graphic
against
design is,
it's
but
right
it's
up
true.
against the curtain line, which I like.
Yeah, and it's kind of folded into the blind a little bit,
Hmm.
and they've got a kind of smaller but corresponding pattern at the top.
Right.
Um,
And where the other movies are all sort of, or usually, except for 13, they're kind of name heavy. This movie's not. Small font at the top.
yeah, and the billing is interesting as well because I think if you made this movie now, the billing would be very different.
Well,
I think it would be Sandra
Aquafina's
Bullock.
like
Yeah,
the most.
Sandra Bullock plus Aquafina
Yeah.
and no one else.
Yeah, right.
This must have been the height of Mindy Kaling's popularity because I don't think she could
That seems about right.
carry a movie these days in the same way.
Yeah,
Um,
she might, let's come on, Tom.
no, I'm not saying not as an actor. I mean, like in the studio would make a big thing about her being in the movie. Although we might have gone all the way around on Aquafina, where she's like so overexposed that
Hmm.
it's interesting. I just saw the trailer to that movie. If
Yeah,
the is it John Krasinski's? No, it's Ryan
Krasinski.
Reynolds. It's John Krasinski
Krasinski's
directing
directed it.
Ryan
Yeah,
Reynolds starring, and like the name of the cast comes up, and I go, that is literally everyone who is surplus to requirements in any other movie, all
right.
together in the same movie. Phoebe Waller-Bridge,
Hmm.
Steve Carell,
Right.
Aquafina. I'm like, you've basically made a movie out of the island of misfit toys when it of cinema. Um. So yeah, pretty positive about this one.
Me too.
It's also better, much better. I was gonna say, not that I'm comparing it to the other one. That's exactly what we're doing. Um, the people rendered better than they are
They
in
are.
the Ocean's 13. They don't look comical in the way that um the Ocean's
Hmm.
13 one does. Particularly, and like the
Well,
fact that
also in this one, everybody's in their own movie. Like, what movie is Bernie Mac in? That's totally different than Brad Pitt's movie.
I was just gonna say the same about Carl Reiner. Carl Reiner's in like he's in an 80s comedy
Yeah, he's like in
where
his
he's
own movie.
going.
He's in his own movie. He's in like the Dead Don't Wear Plaid.
I was gonna say like some movie where he goes back to school. Um, yeah, you're right. It all doesn't feel part of the same world, but these gals, they're all consistent.
Yeah,
They look like Ramones. They're like a girl group.
absolutely.
So, so that's the
All right.
Oceans posters. We normally go from the bottom up.
We do indeed.
Feel like we may have already reached consensus on
Well, through talking, yeah. Uh,
uh
well, so do you? I'll ask you directly. Do you have Ocean's 13 at the bottom?
yes indeed I do.
Yeah, I do too.
It it's tonally wrong. I think that's the
Excuse me.
bless you. I think it's tonally wrong.
Hmm.
Um Not that these movies aren't in some way light and frothy. They
Yeah, they
are,
are.
but this makes it look like a straight up comedy,
Hmm.
which it is not.
Well, but again, Clooney's in the cool movie. Brad Pitt's in the I don't even know his wife's dying of cancer movie.
He's in the constipation commercial.
Yeah, constipation commercial. Andy Garcia and Matt Damon seem to be in the same movie.
Uh-huh.
Bernie Mac is way off in his own movie. Maybe a movie with Carl
I
Reiner, but
I think that's a Shutterstock Bernie Mac. I think that image is used. Whatever Bernie Mac is doing, that's
yeah.
the image on the poster of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and Elliot Gould is in the story of Ruben.
Hmm.
Like, in his mind, this is a story about Ruben.
Yeah,
This
they
movie's
don't
called Ruben's Coma. Elliot Gould.
Ruben's coma dream.
Yeah.
Actually, that would make total sense if Ocean's 13 was Ruben's coma dream, and then he woke up and no one gave a shit, and they were like,
Right.
we're not gonna put all that effort into knocking over Casino just because that guy fucked you over. What are you talking about?
That's
I just
crazy.
I just brought you a Whitman sampler. But so I think you said this before, but the selling point is the team, but they don't look like a team.
Right.
They look like a ragamuffin group of guys, random guys sat around a craps table.
Oh, you little ragamuffin
I don't know where I got ragamuffin from.
from Mr. Burns.
Yes, well, like most of my references, I get them from
Look at him
Mr. Burns.
standing on his legs like a little Rory Calhoun.
We were inflamed by Clark Gable's use of the word "damn." So and that that'd be interesting if if the poster was like they're all out for themselves
Yeah, right,
secretly,
yeah.
but that's not the point of the
Yeah,
movie at all.
exactly. Yeah.
If the movie was telling me that they look like
Then
a
this would
team,
be
but
the best poster.
they would be the best poster. But this movie's telling me that they're shambles and
Yeah, right.
they don't work together, which is the opposite of what I want. But on the plus side, the tagline is good. And I like that it's
Yes.
all on the table. I'll give it that.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe
I'll agree with that.
maybe this would score higher if the other posters were less good, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But this is to me definitely bottom of the list. So where are you gonna go next, do you think?
I think I know.
Okay.
I would say the next worst or next best, depending on how you look at it.
Well, you know how I look at it. It's always the next worst.
I'm going to go Ocean's 12 next.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair enough. I think it's a little bit like the relationship between Ocean's 11 and Ocean's 12. Ocean's like, get your own movie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Make your own movie.
Yeah,
stop copying ours.
It's name heavy.
Yeah.
It's got a
you really
terrible
don't like that, do
tagline.
you?
And I'll even go so far as to say, even though both 12 and 13 are sort of an all red poster, I don't know that the red works as well here.
No, yeah,
But
I
it
agree
works
with that.
well at the top. Like
Hmm.
I'd almost rather see the well, I don't know. I don't know if that's true. But I was
Hmm.
gonna say I'd rather see it cut in half, like a red top and say
Hmm.
either a white or black bottom.
Hmm.
And then you have to change. Then you would get some different colors in the names. Like if you cut it off, now that'd be mean to everybody else because you'd have like Clooney and Pitt in one color font and everybody else below them in a different one. What would you be saying then?
Separate but equal is
Yeah,
what you'd be saying.
yes, exactly.
Especially if you sectioned off Don Cheadle and Bernie Mac on
Oh,
their own.
terrible. Oh,
Yeah, that's interesting. Also, I just realized that the idea of them being on the run isn't really a part of the movie. They're
I mean,
sort of
it is and it
on
isn't.
they're on the run for literally minutes of the movie and then they're caught, right?
Yeah, but the whole idea is that there's a time there is a time clock for them. So time is of the essence throughout that whole movie.
But
So
they're not running, or they're running towards their fates. They're not running away. Anyway, I want to see. Don't get me wrong. I want to see that movie in place of the movie we got. But this is the movie we got.
yeah.
12 is the new 11. I'm trying to. I don't know. Part of me has a begrudging admiration for how stupid that is. Because it's so. I mean, it's so stupid. It's
It's so
almost
dumb.
gone round the houses again, and
Yeah.
it's gone back to being smart again.
Oh, mercy.
But again, it's like the movie.
Mercy, mercy, mercy.
How do they think they can get away with this? How do you think they can? That will just.
Yeah, there's no reason to think that's a Jenkins idea. That should have been laughed out of the room.
12 is
How
the
about
new 11.
how about 12 is the new 11? Shut up, Jenkins.
Yeah. So, well, I think what we're both saying is better artistically, but uh, in terms of how they handle text,
Yeah.
worse than Ocean's 13. But Ocean's
Mhm.
13 is ultimately the worst overall,
Yeah.
and this is kind of in the middle
hmm
of that.
And so
Yeah,
officially, this is your next one as well.
yeah, I'll go with
Yeah.
that. That makes sense to me. And then starts to get hard. This is
It does.
unlike the film series itself. I'm in a Friday the 13th situation here, where it's like,
I agree.
which is the best of the three best?
Can we see them?
Yeah, let's. Oh, that's not right. Uh,
So they're, yeah,
we got the big one.
that big one.
That big one. Yeah, I keep saying the big one. I can't. My eyes won't see that. They keep seeing the.
Tough.
I'm going to invoke my prejudice against people in posters and put this next, even though I really like it. The Ocean's 8 poster. I really like this poster,
I do
but
too.
I don't think it's as good as the other two.
That's tough. You know what I like about this though? It's minimalist.
Yeah. Oh, it is a real achievement to have that many people in the poster, and it
Yeah.
doesn't look busy, and it's graphically on point.
For those reasons,
Everything's in alignment.
this is not my next.
Okay.
I'm gonna surprise you. No, but well, maybe it won't be a surprise. I'm gonna go with 1960 next.
Okay.
But
Well,
I,
then I have to then I then I'm fighting a prejudice with a preference, like, because
yeah.
uh the problem with that is this is the most people centric poster, but I
Mhm.
don't care because it's from 1960.
Right.
So
There's like this is a movie I didn't really love,
hey,
but there's so
save it for
much.
the paying customers. We're on
That's true.
YouTube.
That's true.
Don't give this bunch of cheapskates the information that they should be paying for. Oh,
My
carry on.
mistake. But there, I'm surprised. I was surprised by how much I liked this poster, and that's why I feel weird about putting it in the place that I'm putting it. But I respect the minimalism of the other two posters so much that I have to put this one next.
Yeah, this is not minimalism. This is maximalism.
Yeah.
Very good maximalism because
Yeah.
it never looks busy or bloated.
So the one
But
thing I'll say is
there's no restraint here.
this one has a couple of strikes against it for me. That big one, I don't really understand. I get the I think we were right about the why those two exclamation points are there
To fill the space.
to fill the space, but they are there, and that's a little weird. And then there's one tagline too many.
Mhm.
But I will say that I love that artwork at the bottom.
It's yeah, I mean it's beautiful.
I love
Uh,
it. Love it.
It's I don't know if it's something if it's like concept art that was separate and they just wanted to put it on the poster because it couldn't not be on the poster. That's my feeling about it because it
Mhm.
doesn't fit. Um, you could easily work up a poster just from that concept art.
Yeah. I also noticed that you and I, although we disagree on movies fairly often, we lately we it seems we've been on the same page as far as posters. So I like that uh we
We can
can
come
we can
together.
we can differ.
You know, I don't think we're that. I think on any other series we're not that far apart on
Mhm.
movies either. I think once again we've fallen into Matt Aldrich's trap. He wants us to be continually in conflict, and he correctly surmised that this series would create that hostile atmosphere between
Yeah.
us. But, you know, I think whatever we do next, I bet there's way more consensus.
You know what I really also like in
Unless
terms
we're
of
doing The Hobbit.
the people,
What's that?
it's the same as Ocean's 8. I like the truncatedness of it.
Yeah.
Like Ocean's 8, I wonder if that was deliberate. Like, thinking
Mm.
about this poster.
If not deliberate, then using the same graphic logic.
Yeah. But I really like the look of it with the people, with the characters there. I love that.
Yeah, it's real sort of cigarette card headshots,
Hmm.
from a bygone era. It probably is. It probably they're sliced up like lobby card
Right.
image with that kind of that mid-century photo montage kind of
Yeah.
not experimental but like using the same kind of techniques.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Ocean's
So
11, 1960 for me.
yeah, Ocean 11 1960, and then in third, so this is
That's
for
my third.
this is
Third.
for third place. My
Yeah.
third is Ocean's 8.
Yeah.
Um, do we flip again? Do you want to say uh your second?
Probably, I guess, 'cause I guess I might be the only surprise left. I'm starting to imagine like my opening salvo was right on from the start.
Listen, Mike, I'm fighting it, okay? I'm fighting it, but
Okay, okay.
I'm losing the battle. The more I look at it, and I'm also thinking, will we ever get a poster like this again?
Again, right, yeah. And that's why it's so hard for me to put it third.
Yeah.
But the three things I pointed out, love how seriously we're taking this. The thought that crossed my mind were the thought that crossed my
This is
mind
content, Michael. Content.
was glaring poster mistake.
Yeah.
And so I can't let them pass. So
No,
yeah.
I get it, and I agree with everything you're saying, and like I said, this really shouldn't work as well as it does because
Yeah,
when
right.
you break down each constituent element of it, they shouldn't all go together.
Hmm.
But actually, the reason why this probably will end up at the top of my list, it might be different from what you think. It might have more to do with the other poster.
Mm.
But anyway, I presume that you're gonna go. Well, actually, yeah, this is a surprise. Are you gonna go 8 or 11?
I
Eight
think it.
or
I think
second
it
11?
in my yeah in my number two spot. I am gonna go Ocean's 8.
Yeah, I had a feeling that was where
Yeah.
this was going.
I really like that poster. I like the
Mm,
minimalism of it. It should feel more busy with 8 people in the poster, and it just doesn't.
no, it's
And
really yeah, it's really nicely contained.
it's clean. It just has good ideas. We already talked about it, but the oceans
No,
butting up against the sort of curtain or whatever we're looking at, and like you mentioned, it's kind of truncated a little bit
mm.
on the edges of the letters.
I in general I like anything that like any title that sort of comes out of a blind.
Mm-hmm.
And for a second, I was like, "What am I thinking of?" And it's what I'm always thinking of, which is The Fugitive.
Yeah. Right.
The way the titles in The Fugitive come in, that's
So
what this
good.
reminds me of. That's why I
It
like
does.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. And I get the one we didn't.
Harrison Ford, Tommy Lee Jones, The
Yeah.
Fugitive.
I'll say this: the one thing that is a strike against it. I'm not sure how much I like Every Con Has Its Pros. That's not.
So
That's not
I love how
great.
it's written.
Yeah.
I just don't like the phrasing. I
Yeah.
agree, but it's beautifully spaced.
Very beautifully
Fucking
spaced.
hell. What are
That
we doing? What are we
that
talking about?
I'm telling you that
It's to-
like how it's centered.
yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
that makes me happy. And then if you go to Ocean's 11,
Welcome to the
sorry,
OC. Welcome to the OCD hour.
if you go to Ocean's 11 from 2001, this is good stuff.
It is. You know the only reason why I won't put it at the top of the list.
Tell me.
It reminds me too much of a cigarette, like a cigarette packet. And I know that's not fair,
Yeah, you're not
but
wrong.
it's
So if it bothers you, it bothers you.
yeah,
But it's got I like it's I love everything about, you know, the amount of negative space it has. You don't it's not you're not bothered by it for a second. It
no.
seems to work. I love the truncated 11.
Hmm.
This is the best use of color, the black
Hmm.
to the white to the
Hmm.
red. And then are you in or out?
Yeah, yeah. Best tagline.
Those are all the best things. So,
Yeah, and you're right. The fact that that's directed to the audience, all the others are just kind of
right.
like just kind of general puns. This is, you know, I like it when taglines do that.
Mm-hmm.
They tend not to do it like they tend not to be associated with very good films, but
Yeah,
you know,
right.
because I think of a movie that seemingly no one liked, the Ghostbusters 2016 reboot, but it had a great
Mm-hmm.
tagline: "Answer the call."
Yeah,
And then all the pre-publicity was like, "Will you answer the call?" I thought that was really good,
good stuff.
but not reflected in the movie. And you'll have to pay us to find out how we both feel about Ocean's 11. No, it's a worthy number two. I mean, you know, it missed the top by a you
By
know
hair.
by a nostalgic hair,
Mm.
by the hair on Dean Martin's head. Essentially, is the difference between these two.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like everything that you like about it. It just this it literally is just whenever I look at it, I think of a cigarette packet, and so by association, this poster smells like my granddad. And that's unfair both to my dear
Yes.
granddad, who is no longer with us, thankfully, and not around to hear this. Um, and to the poster, which is in no way styled after a cigarette packet, but it just
Yeah,
you know, Lucky 11.
good stuff.
It's like something Don Draper would advertise.
Right.
So this is your number one.
It is.
So you've got 2001 11, Ocean's 8,
1960.
Ocean's 11, 1960, Ocean's 12, Ocean's 13.
Correct.
And I am Ocean's 11, 1960, with the emphasis on 1960. Ocean's 11, 2001, Ocean's 8, Ocean's 12, Ocean's 13. So the bottom of our lists are consistent, but the top,
Yeah.
there's some variation. See?
There we go.
Was worth state. That's why we go from the bottom up, because we normally agree on what makes a bad poster, but when it comes to what makes a good poster, we go a
Yeah,
little
there's
bit
some
of
variations.
to and fro. Yeah, a little bit of to and fro. That's a very high standard of poster. I think that's the best. This series has produced the best posters.
Right. Yeah.
Not the
Yeah,
best movies, but the best posters.
so far. So
So far,
far,
yeah.
in this little experiment, these are the best, right?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, this is only the third of these we've done.
Yeah.
Jurassic Park and 2009, which I feel like is just disqualified because it's not a unified
Right.
film series. It's just random shit that happened that year.
All right. Well, there you have it.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say that last time we announced our new series, we haven't decided on where we're gonna go next.
Or have we?
Well, we're lining up a. Oh yeah, we can tease this. I'm not gonna say until we've.
Yeah, I mean, we have a special episode coming out.
We have we have a special one-off coming up,
Yeah.
which will I think excite a lot of you. We won't announce that until that's in the books,
Mhm.
in the file of facts, the calendar, the Rolodex. Oh, what's wrong with this?
Yes.
Can't
Keep
get out of
naming
19
old men things.
I oh god, yeah. So the series that you were referring to before
Yeah.
was the series that we talked about and then put aside to do the Oceans movies.
Right.
And it's a season we have tackled tangentially.
Yeah.
So we tell the good people what we're talking about.
We're lining up Pink Panther movies.
The Pink Panther movies. And this I mean, I don't know about you, but a lot of the impetus to do these movies is about trying to do sequels from an earlier era and do
Yeah,
more of those.
I like that part of it a lot.
I know, like, commercially, we should be going in the other direction and doing
Yeah.
newer and newer sequels, but we're old men yelling at clouds, and I wanna see. Well, it's not even that. I mean, it obviously it is. It's obviously got something to do with the fact that my tastes are old, but I want to see where the sequel movement came from, and these are movies from that's go from the 1960s to the 1980s.
Yeah,
So
right.
we're going to learn a lot about the development of sequel storytelling through this series.
Well, and not just that, when you take a look at, I mean, obviously not all of those movies have the star that we know, right? Peter Sellers.
That's another call we're going to have to make.
So we have to decide. Yeah.
Because without getting into too much detail about it, there's the Peter Sellers Pink Panther movies, and then there's the Pink Panther movies without Peter Sellers.
Yeah.
Some of which are continuations, not reboots. So, I mean, they're all available on Max. So we potentially could just blow through the whole of the series.
and have ourselves a time.
up to a point.
But yeah, I guess the thing that's curious for me is, when you have I don't know, when I think of Peter Sellers, I kind of almost think of like a Andy Kaufman kind of
Yeah.
comedian, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the idea of doing sequels seems antithetical to a person like that. So I'm interested in what keeps him coming back to that character. So
Yeah.
I'll enjoy the research as well, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. It definitely goes against the grain of what Sellers is about.
Right.
For him, famously the man who played three different roles in Doctor Strangelove. So,
Right.
he was even into that idea of kind of like playing multiple characters within one movie, like Alec
Mm-hmm.
Guinness in Kind Hearts and Coronets. But here he is playing this one character over several decades.
Yeah.
And yet that characterization changes as well with
Mm-hmm.
the times and the movies. So yeah, there's a lot of really interesting. Yeah, it's a franchise that's nominally based around one person, a
Right.
character,
Right.
rather than a story.
Mm-hmm.
Although, some of that story comes back here and there.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Hey, yeah. That I
So
mean,
it'll be fun.
I'm very happy to venture into that world. I'm very excited about it.
Well, there you have it, people.
Yeah. So we got some work to do. We better get on the case. Meh. Well, this was fun.
Yeah, I had a good time.
So yeah, but once this is the week after this comes out, hopefully we'll have we'll have the beginning of a brand new series for you. We better get to work.
Yeah, it's a lot. So
We've not done ourselves any favors, have we?
we never do.
Nope, nope. But at least they're all available.
It's all for you.
It is, yeah. So join us next time.
I pointed at the microphone. I should have pointed at the camera for you.
Yes, for you. Well, this is what it's all about.
Well,
And I still don't know. You subscribe.
yeah, sure.
I'll put my finger
One of
various
our
different
fingers
places,
is
and
hitting
one
something,
of our
right?
fingers is in
Come on,
sort of the right place.
let's go.
By the law of averages.
I wish I could get further to the corner where there's actually a wall here. Yeah, over there.
All right, well, thank you everyone. I hope you
Yeah, you'll have to
enjoyed.
tell us what do write in the comments on YouTube, right? Tell us your
Yeah,
rank of posters. How about that?
does rank of posters. Throw it if you find any other posters you want to bring to our attention, we'll comment on them.
There are others, so
There are plenty of others. Yeah, do what you will, but comment, like, subscribe to our channel. You can get the podcasts through YouTube as well. We put them up as YouTube videos,
indeed
and we're
we
going to
do.
do this at the end of any series, so you're going to get original content here too. Plus, we for about conservatively 10 years we did watch-alongs of sequels as well. So we've got years worth of that for you to watch if you want to watch a particular movie. You can do it with our audio commentary or video commentary.
There you go.
So yeah, plenty to choose from.
All right.
All right.
Signing off.
12 is the new 13.
11.